Hey Scott! All them years of my life that I play in mass, oh, I never see this. All the world thinking I they in charge of job, oh, I never see this. It's rocks day, it's hands day, it's oil day, it's gal day, it's mass day. Watch out everybody, hugging somebody. Lord, it look like pandemonium, boy. From Savannah to the stadium, boy. Do this to shine now. We on the line now. When it's we time now. Lord, it look like pandemonium, boy. The people they don't give a damn, no. Start to run now. So everything up in the air. So you wrap up everywhere.
You make me skin catch a fire, that me not listen.
Boy, tell your body good underneath. Boy, plus him name good on the street. Boy, 50 caliber pan the beat. Boy, and your waistline sweet.
Tell me short cause whoa. Love when you tip on your toe, whoa. Wind to the ground and go low. And you back it up the thing and show, whoa. And you back it up the mind up, whoa. Love when you tip on your toe, whoa. Wind to the ground and go low. And you back it up the thing and show, whoa.
When you bend down, that is hot girl shit. That is hot girl shit. Shake your bumper, that is hot girl shit. Let's front in that outfit don't flick when you bend down. That is hot girl shit. That is hot girl shit. Check your bumper, that is hot girl shit. It's well done.
How everybody feeling this evening?
Say them is hot, them is not. Man, for the hot where you got. Alright, face cute.
Nice. So we have Abby is back in the building. So Abby, you've been missing in action, like literally missing in action. So we definitely will be starting, questions will be running in your direction today, right? So before we get into it, this is Real Talk live on a Friday evening, right? Or night for Abby, Abby's night. Just a reminder, we have a September affair on the 17th of September, right? And we are going to Libya. Tickets are only $200. It's going to be a full day of wildness, of looseness, of fun, of whatever it is you're drinking, whether it's water, whatever you decide to drink on that day. It's just all about pure vibes and niceness. Alright? So just hit us up on the WhatsApp button. There are also other members that you can contact, Shanaka and Selena. And all the numbers are to the bottom of the screen. Right? So hit up any one of us to get a ticket. Right? Bring a friend, bring a brother, sister, whoever. Or bring yourself if you do feel like moving with anybody. Right? Cooler, but just not oversized. Right? So just, jump out yourself. In addition to that, we also have for the top-up and inflation nothing Friday. So when it says you buy $100 worth of top-up, whether it is digital or be mobile, you're going to get $10 free credit on your phone. Alright? Sonali, you could go ahead and advertise the lunch for next week.
Alright, so next week Friday we have a lunch that is happening. Buffalo style chicken drumsticks, cheesy potato balls, and a fresh salad with our signature ranch. And that will be $45 a meal. It's scrumptious, it's filling. It may put in a comatose for the rest of the workday, but it's a Friday. So we have lunch out, so place your orders, hit the WhatsApp button or to call the number that is at the bottom of the flyer to place your order.
Right, so people just know the lunch is real best, so you don't want to miss out, right? So yes, ladies, what do you think about this topic? So Abby was saying backstage that this topic looks, smells, and songs like a man named Lion. Right? So, how y'all feeling about this topic? The topic, people, if you're now joining us, is directed to the ladies. Ladies, do you need a man? That's the topic of the hour. So Abby, it's been a while. And if Abby's still the same. If Abby's still the same, no answer she coming. But let's hear from you, Abby. Do you believe that
Can I answer with a
need
question?
men? No, not yet. Answer with an answer and then ask questions.
Hell no. We don't need them. They're useful, but we don't need them.
Okay, so why you say that they are useful but you don't need them?
Go Abby, go Abby.
Yeah, they're useful. They come in handy with their, muscles and whatnot. But
I'm gonna be in and out of this conversation. See this bacana.
we don't need them. I want to know for what.
No study that because you don't later as we continue. So we wanna, well, we live on Facebook as well, so we stream it on Facebook and YouTube. If you don't see that on YouTube. So yes, we on YouTube and Facebook. So pick up your whole set. Yeah. Abby, let me hear what the men useful for. So place in the comment section, people, ladies, do you all need men? And we'll take it from the right, and then we'll take it from the left. What are your true views? So give us your true views without being biased, yeah? Yeah. Take it away.
Hello. Then talking about starting from wherever direction when Abby has the flow at this point in time. But she's been missing in action.
I mean, other than making babies, what are they useful for? If they could cut the yard, I could cut the yard. I could change a light bulb. I could fix wires. I could do plumbing. I could do whatever. What we need them for. Somebody changed my mind.
So Natalie, what are you saying? Do you believe that women need men?
I saw earlier in one of the comments from when it was being advertised that women today have been taught to be independent, but at the end of it, you're still going to need men, no matter what. Yeah, you're being taught to be independent, self-sufficient, because I was taught to do certain things that were normally in a man's field. But then again, it was a man that taught me. So, in any jump high, jump low, no matter what, we need men. Nobody's saying no that a woman can't do things by herself or so forth. It's her choice to do that. And she's free to do that. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, you're still going to need a man. You're still going to need them there.
Abby is thinking like, I don't feel so convinced as yet. Abby, you're not
I agree what
convinced.
she said. Don't get me wrong, I agree what she's saying. But for me personally, I don't see the use.
Okay. And that's the thing. Because just as some women may say that they don't need a man can now come and say, hey, I don't need a woman. What are you really doing for me? When I can cook, I can clean, I can iron my, do the full laundry work, right? So a man could also say that as well. So, rightfully said, right? Those are basic independent living skills. So when it is we think it's basic, but when you think about companionship, when you think about really learning from the opposite sex, the things that they will, their perspective, their beliefs, everything is, it is different from how we will think. So the male perspective is also very important, right? And when it comes to, as we know, men are physically stronger than women. At least biologically, that should happen. So it's going to have certain things that we are going to need men for, right? Because imagine a woman, wanting to have children. If it is she go and do something out of the ordinary to lift a certain amount of weight, hello, everything just gonna fall out of place and forget about that baby rearing. You understand? But the man has that physical strength to carry that duty out, right? Even in terms of protection. Yeah, someone may say, yeah, I can handle myself. But placed in a situation, can you really handle yourself? Just asking. I be in a situation and I realize it's a man attacking you. Do you think that you can really handle yourself? How are you going to get out of it? What are you going to use to get out of the situation? Or do you think that a man's strength may be needed at that point in time? At that time, it's not a need. It's not just the man being useful.
Not necessarily, but I get where you're coming from. I will use whatever available. And plus, I was told I just hit real hard, so it will be
well,
a
what
fight.
If the man could be hitting harder, as I just said. The men are
But yeah, he's stronger
and faster.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that, but so far so good. I haven't find myself in any situation where I would need a man's protection. Once I keep on that path, I should be okay.
It should be okay.
Once I'm straight from the path, but I understand that we need them in some cases. They are useful in some cases, but personally, I just want to know for what.
Okay, all right. So Abby, you already have children, right? So for you, if it is a woman who wants to have children, she's going to need the man's sperm. Whether or not she with the man seriously or not, she's going to need the man's sperm.
Yeah, that's what they use.
Everything
they are useful.
And no, it's not useful. If it is the one the generations to continue, it's not useful. It's a need. It's not a want. It's in need.
It's a need.
Good old Abby, boy. Abby, long time, boy, long time.
It is in need. And the toys.
I try to understand the backstage. So what we saying right now? What we saying that we need it or we don't need it that way?
I personally don't need it. I'm doing fine.
You're doing
but like, I hope all they take note. I hope all they take note of this thing, right? So I mean, what? So it is interesting because we have there. So I mean, all right, now we have this position. So Sadali, tell me, you sharing similar views, or is it that we have our purpose as Abby say, and then well after that we are expendable items? Please in the comment section, people. Like we are wash rag in this place. Whenever I'm looking at this, please in the comment section. Do you agree with Abby? So darling, give me your 2 cents. No, wait, lie. This thing. Listen.
I wouldn't say that they're just useful. Men are needed. No matter. I wouldn't use the term as useful. Because it doesn't mean I just casting your aside. They're just like you say, I watch rag for no one.
Well, if they use, I mean, if they use for the purpose they're supposed to, when they don't use it, and Abby?
Men do the same thing.
Yeah. And they don't use it, they move on with life. So Dali, what do you think?
I don't want to look at it that way because I don't want nobody looking at me that way. Like I'm just useful for now. Like yeah, I just had it.
Right?
And then you move on to the next drag or whatever. I don't want nobody looking at me like that. So I wouldn't look at a man like that. I want to be needed. Because
Right.
if it is the moment you start to think of me as that I just are used for now, a little happiness and convenience at that point in time, or just live a slice surface and you move on to the next.
Right.
Like, seriously, no. So I
But I
believe
think women who share that
no, I'm not saying no, there are women, but I'm saying from me personally because I know how I would want to be treated. So
right.
for me to consider a man just useful and then he move on, and or to say I consider him, yeah, he just have a use to this and that. I should do this tomorrow. No,
Right.
because just for example, each person wants to be needed, not just wanted. They want to be needed. That sense of, hey, this person needs me, have a higher standing power than just being wanted or being useful.
Exactly.
So you have to marry too. Say that on chill. I don't want to be used like that, so I would do it.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't do that.
right. Chica, what's your view on
I believe that men are needed. I would not use the word useful either.
Chica?
Needed.
Amen.
Just as
Ladies to marry.
just as a woman needs a man needs a woman as well. Because we bring different things to the table. And if it is we just seeing people as, if we really see people as objects, and I think that's the problem. People see other persons as objects, and when they think about the object, it's like, oh yeah, this is a useful tool right now. You don't want to be used as a tool or some equipment or just, household item, because then your value decreases when it is you are just being used. Yes, it might have time, I might say that person is well useful. But another way to say that you need the person is, that person is dependable. You can depend on that person, they are dependable. That person is trustworthy, and those are the things that you need. That person is reliable or even strong, because when it is, sometimes have persons, they may have like a serious breakdown. They are unable to carry their emotional weaknesses, or they are unable to do certain things at a certain point in time. They actually need somebody to help pick up their pieces or help them put the pieces back together. So when it is we just see people as useful, that it's a need. And sometimes people think, nah.
There are guys that beg to differ, that they can prove themselves more than useful tools, but this modern day, I don't know, where are they?
Right, and that's the problem, right? So because now we see that women are really striving for this independence, right? So much so that they are wanting to be men. They want to take up the man's role. Like, if you give them the chance. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi. I just with you.
Yeah, Suzanne as a jumping. Do you think women need men?
Yes, they do.
So, Suzanne is saying yes, they do. So, what are some of the things that women need men for?
That's a good question. For everything, I think.
Everything? What's on your top? What are the top 3 things on your list? Because it sounds like when they say everything, it comes like, boy, it's so much. So, what are your top 3 things that you need a man for?
Top 3. Okay, first one I would say first, your sex life. Yeah, you need a man for sex life, right?
I
That's
know
one of my
Jazan
top
was gonna
lists.
say that first thing now.
So that's important. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Um,
But I agree. I'm gonna say we. Abby's maybe saying not at this time. But yes, it is true. Because the toys ain't gonna do what the man could do for you. So
No, exactly. Toys don't work. No. Need a real man, right? For that.
hmm So after that, like that is the top three and in the third. That's like
No. Financially,
See what
you
I
need a
mean?
man
See
financially.
what I mean?
financially.
Financially. Go on, Kyle. Kyle, I don't want to go bed. Sorry.
I would just really be a place, you know. Because I'm thinking about the next thing on her list.
Yeah.
But we know what was the
Sorry.
first thing, right?
Yeah, you know the first thing. Yeah, you know the first thing.
Right, so right now on Jazan's top of the list is that sexual pleasure. She definitely
What was the
needs
other
a man
guys?
for that.
Oh, here. What's the next one now?
When I get this feeling. Let me do a toy last week. I thought the toy does work. I thought the toy better than man, boy.
Toy do not work. Okay.
I thought the toy is better than the man.
Nobody said the toys. I don't know who will say toys are better than
Who
the
said
men.
toy was better
Who will say
than the
that?
men?
I
I
just
don't
say
know where Lion get her.
I just say it. I hear the toys.
I don't know
must
either.
be wild. So, yeah. So we have some two ladies here to give us their
My ring
take.
light break. I can't even put the ring light, my phone on the ring
So
light.
taking this video, and let's tell me what they think after. Yeah, taking this video.
Calling them toxic and saying we should raise boys and girls the same. Huh? And it's a disservice to the young people of this country. And we'll talk more about the feminine side of that later. But yeah, teach men to be men. It's that simple.
Listen, I see so many videos with so many people saying all these different things about men to the point where they have basically tried to demonize masculinity. Masculinity was created to cover, to provide, to love, and to protect. It was not created to be out here doing all this other stuff and all these other things that people are making these videos about and literally trying to drag men. Biblically, when God created Eve and gave her to Adam, he said, be fruitful and multiply. Who better to attack than the person that carries the seed? Yes, women, I get it. We are out here tackling career fields. We're tackling jobs. We're knocking down degrees. We're holding down households. But at
what
the
you're
end
saying?
of the day, who better to attack than the very person that carries the seed for said multiplication? Stay woke to what's going on. You do need men, regardless of it's platonic or romantic. There is a need for them.
Super you, yeah. Push back, baby. Push back
That's
on
a
your
yours,
back,
though.
baby.
Let me go first. I mean, I understand what she's saying. She have good points. But if men would be men, then women wouldn't have to pick up the slack. Women wouldn't have to go there and run down careers and do the stuff that men supposed to be doing. So if men be men, then we shouldn't have a problem. But they're not. They're still in Pampers. So what's the point?
But I think that's not always the case. At least it have some women who out there, but I shouldn't say women. There are some mothers out there to say, okay, the father gone or whatever, or they didn't have a father in their life either. They didn't have that masculine role model there. So they just go along with what they saw. They wasn't taught that. They taught what they saw and believed to be what a man, or teach their son what they thought a man is supposed to be. So some mothers kind of got it okay, and then some of them, they cuddle. They really cuddle and smother the son to such a point that men don't know how to be men, they only know how to be women, really and truly. And worse yet, for men who grew up in a household only strictly women without any masculine, that strong masculine, hardback gorilla influence, really and truly.
Where are they then?
So they got first
I
study
don't
time.
know them with her. Yeah.
And that's the same
What's
thing
that, Abby?
too.
No, I was just
I feel like
reading what she's saying. I wouldn't mind having a hardback gorilla, but they're very far and few in between. Where are they?
Exactly, because of the same thing where women who don't have the same hardback gorilla close by in proximity, whether it be their father, whether it be uncles, whether it be grandfathers, brothers, down to the neighbor or anything, they don't have any. So whatever they saw in society, they brought back and said, okay, this is how a man should be, or this is how I want a man to be. And it ended up being a feminine portrait. So you end up with a patty cake boy or a patty cake man. Nothing wrong with a man who is in touch with emotions or whatever, but at the end of the day, beat it just like King Kong now. Please and thanks.
At least pretend to, yeah.
No, don't pretend. Beat it just like King Kong. And at the end of the day, know when to switch, when to say, okay, here what? I ain't touch with my emotions, I know how you feel or whatever, but at the end of the day, you're like Tarzan playing on the vines or something. Please and thanks. Leave the pie cake really and truly for us.
And the next thing too is that what you're seeing is some parents, especially now, they don't have their boy children engaging in activities that will build their strength. If it is they fall, they are petting them and saying, don't cry, and these things, you're not allowing them to really toughen up, right? Even some girls too, that's what they learn, is just like nothing to show that strength, nothing to build their endurance, nothing to build, a positive character or even a positive physical well-being, because you're realizing that every little thing, somebody says something, they're ready to cry, or they run and complain, somebody said this, or even the sun is too hot, they can't stand for too long, What are we raising? Like, stay weak. And we don't want to be raising weak children. And that's what is seen happening. Children are growing up, they can't even carry a good bag of groceries. And those are things that, you have to do in everyday life. It's not just about sitting down in front of a tablet, tablet in hand, or a game, or whatever it is they're doing. Everything is screen, sit, or lie down. There isn't anything to build. Not girls, not boys. And I think some of us, we grew up in the generation where women are just really striving for that full independence. So women kind of, it's like if they're really trying to take over the man's world, but can't take over the man's world. So we having different issues arising. Well, issues. And all because the women now saying, hey, well, I don't need a man, yeah? I don't need a man. I can do it all on my own. But really and truly, when you look at the full system, everybody needs everybody or somebody. One hand will clap, the man is the next.
One hand on slap,
Some people clap. I be clap with one hand for me now.
Yeah, one hand on
I can't
slap.
tell the minute.
You can't tell the minute, they can't at all. I want to see that clap with the one hand.
Big up on the
But
I think I'll be looking at it from on Twitter page. So, yeah, we streaming multiple tonight, so we have bigger people on YouTube, Chica page, yeah. So,
yeah, because all the people who looking on them page. If you want to comment, feel free to touch up the Burn Team Global Media.
Yeah, go on media page so you can comment. So, Jason, I hear you using the band as a promo stick to start and listen to all your good. So, he number one function is the function.
You are?
Yes, sir. You're in the right place now. Yeah, big up on the very different type of this scenario. Yeah. The same. Yeah, they need that strength now, but yeah. Abby? Yeah, Abby says she talk about gorilla. She was gorilla. I like that.
Yes,
like
the real men. Where are they? The real men that will stand their ground.
The monsters, right? The monsters that you ladies looking for, we have a lot of competition over there. So, if it has two gorilla in the jungle, trust me, it have 15 or 20 women vying for that one gorilla attention. So,
Well, he have, like you say, options to choose, but
yeah.
once you're already fit to mate, don't come behind me.
Oh, Jesus. Jason, so do you need a man, Jason?
Of course I need a man.
I like that because I know you play with them toys because people talk for toys. So, Dali,
Yeah.
is a man needed in the life?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Chica.
Yes, I said that men are needed.
Yeah, because right now, they need some men in Afghanistan because right now them fellas oppressing them over and they be over and them carries up and defense system, they're under oppression. But we have a codependency, I believe. Play to the comment section, people, if you believe in codependency, because it's the yin and the yang, it's a codependency and it's a that's why it has male and female, the things. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, the yin and the yang. And do you believe in that balance still?
Of course.
Yeah. And I think the problem maybe it's stemming from we have a lot of masculine women and we have effeminate men, and it kind of skewing the roles. So whereas a female might be looking for a very strong male, I mean, even society now is even allowing males to accept being effeminate even though they were born males. So, Jizan, Abby, Sonali, Shamika, give us all your take now on society, because now there's a transgender movement, there's a QIA movement. What do you think is that affecting the emasculation or the demasculation of the male energy in society? So touch us on that day. We go take it from Abby, because Abby ain't come long time.
Yes, it's affecting them badly. Because they have no more gorillas, as we said. Well, I would say no more. They hardly have any. They're very far and few in between. Plus, they're training them from young. They're starting from primary school, I've heard. So, just now, it may not even be any gorillas to beat their chest. That's just the scary thing about it. But I'm gonna do my best to train minds to be a gorilla. Well, I mean, I can't do it 100%, but
you'll
guys-
try.
yes. But they are affecting them badly, and we have to do something about it. We meaning women. Real women, and no cis women. I don't know where this cis come from, but the women, the right women, us who have womb and to carry children, those women, they need to step up and put them in the place, because it's really getting annoying.
So you don't think that the masculine men who are remaining should be a part of putting the younger ones in, really showing them, guiding them what it means and what it means to be masculine? And I think that, and that's the thing, I think that's why, because sometimes women may think, hey, this is what masculinity means, or this is how a man should be, but then the woman is not a man. So it has certain things that woman would not be able to impart to that young man. And that is why men are needed, and that is where we really falling short. So they kind of confused as to what is a man, what is a woman, what are the roles of men and women. And yes, we know now
the men not doing their roles anymore. That's why the question is.
That's what I'm saying, the men, exactly. And then a man can carry a child, right? A man can carry a child.
Right. A man.
And some men not doing the role. They're not doing the role as they say.
A man supposed to, all right, he find his mate, it can work out, but he's supposed to be there. He's supposed to be there to carry on the family, to teach his sons. But at the end of the day, they stray away as well as, society.
As women, the society, but women carry both things in it. Women do a man's job and a woman's job, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the society nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of single women out there.
This is what I want to ask, because we don't want to. So I am asking because looking at the movement, right? Looking at the movement that we see now, the transgender movement, the LGBT movement. I have noticed that
if anybody talking, I'm not hearing or seeing anybody.
Don't worry, we see it, Abby. You just stay with it. Don't worry. Look at the Baba Reach. Don't worry inside. We see it. Right?
Lisa coming on now.
Right. Jizan Abby Sanabi, right? We have seen a lot of women really standing up with these movements. We've seen a lot of women agreeing with these movements, but we are not seeing women speaking against these movements. Why you think is that? Big up Candy Barbara on the inside. Yes, I know you know Richo. Much love, right? Sonali, what do you think?
They are very, and I mean very, very few. Not even few.
Some here. Look.
There is really a minute minority, the minority or so, that's against the LGBT movement. The reason why majority of women are for it is because it played on their emotions of these men. They want to be women. You could do it, them could do it too.
Right.
And we are so in touch with our emotions, just like you. We know the feelings that you have. We know that it have no strongness. They play on the weakness of, well, I shouldn't say the weakness. They play basically on the emotions that is deprived in society. So once you remove something and women are fighting for it, you come now to be a savior, someone who to just pacify. So of course it will have the majority of women now saying, yes, give them the rights.
Nice. I mean, you mean to cut their course, but looking at the movement right now, women are really going behind and supporting the movement. So now to support the movement are now saying that it have no real men. I think it's a contradictory. If you want real men, then be against the feminization of men. Because as Abby said, they started from young. So think about it, it's a child, a boy child who is 7, 8. And by the time he's 15, he is now against being a male. He's now binary. Yeah, we think you don't have binary and think about it. Ladies, Lisa, Abby, Jazam, tell me what you guys think about that.
Binary is the one where you don't identify as anything, right?
Yeah.
That's
Neutral,
binary.
totally neutral, yeah.
Totally neutral.
Lisa, where were you?
Continue.
Well, okay, if you don't want to identify as either man, woman, trans, LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever the whole alphabet is, then what should I identify you as? A chair, a stool, a piece of stone? Basically, I could literally walk you and say, well, okay, if you're binary, then I could identify you as a piece of shit on the ground then. No, honestly, because first of all, I come into a world where it's either male or female. That's how I learned primary school. You have the whole gender, and they taught us going down from human straight down to animal. So, I don't know. Once you say binary, then I can identify you as anything. And if it is, I identify you as something you don't agree to.
Abby, there was a story in England there with the inmate that identified as he's a male and he identified as a female, and he assaulted 4 females. They actually sent him to a female prison. Right?
What?
Yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, look, Abby, there you go. Follow the UK. What you know? Listen to me. Listen to me. There was a gentleman who got convicted of a crime in the UK, right? He didn't change anything, and he just identified as a woman, and they sent him off to a female prison. And on the 4th count of sexually assaulting a female inmate, that is when they decide to all the place in the comment section. This is the real world.
So basically,
When people say it, that is not real place. You're asking the whole world is not real place.
no, but then he told you
I'll be touch base on that for me. Touch base a little bit. Lisa, touch base on that for me a little bit.
I've also heard.
What do people from the UK?
I saw that story. It's true.
Yeah. Let the UK talk about the UK. Let me hear. Go ahead, Abby.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sonali.
You know what? That is smart. That is smart.
It is
because
smart.
That is smart because if I want to ask false women, get easy access to women. If I'm a psychopath and I really want to get to my prey, I'm gonna play all of the suckers. That is smart.
And that's what he did. That's what he did.
I'm sorry. What he did was wrong, but that's
Effort,
not because that is using brains. You see people who could use brains, yeah. It is wrong, but I clap you for using your brains. That's playing people for suckers. Nah, I'm sorry, but I give him the claps. I give him 2 claps and send him back to jail. Because them get played for suckers real bad.
Yeah, I think the whole society is.
And I know recently I saw a post where it is a man, born man. He identifies as a woman, and the woman identifies as a man. And because they are
okay, I guess she got stuck there.
Oh, I thought it's me alone. What
No, I guess she
Yeah.
got stuck. But it's the same story. I think that she is speaking of it had trans couples, yes, the woman identify as a man and the man identify as a woman, and lo and behold, the woman, well, she became pregnant, yeah, but
the man became pregnant.
Yeah,
Correction.
I can't follow when it is at the thing. I have to say to the correct.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, the biological female got pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like so weird, honestly and truly.
Exactly.
Because the video looked, she
Hello,
really and truly brought herself to look like a man, and the man brought himself to look like
a woman.
No, not even a complete woman. Sort of like a woman.
Right.
But, and when they're going out in society, it is weird. And the one thing when I say that video, in my mind is like, how is this child going to go through life?
Exactly.
Because children are mean as hell. Yes, we're trying to make it the norm now.
I think that the West, this is a Western problem. Because I can't see
no.
It's a Western problem now, because if you go in Dubai, you can't be if you go China, if you go certain parts of Africa, you can't do this.
If you go Thailand, you see plenty. See, you know who woman or man in Thailand.
And I'm not against anybody expressing themselves, but for the court system, I mean, what is that to say about?
I saw a woman the other day. It was a man.
Yeah, I mean, for the court system, Abby. I mean, somebody who do a crime, right? They commit a crime. You know, it's a man. He change nothing. He's a full man, and he just let his lawyer decide that he identifies as a female. And how could a magistrate, knowing this, just send the man? Looking like a man, no nothing, I just said it's a female prison. We have.
Remember, you don't want to go against the norm, and then they could bring you under blast, and you could lose your title as a judge or a magistrate.
Listen,
you know what? Yes, people that's how the worst for a magistrate to just lose it. So
listen. I placed in one of the lives we did when we talked about transgender just the other day. What is the stipulation to really identify? How long you have to be on the hormones for? It has stipulations in it. Because they are allowing them in sport. So it has stipulations how long it's supposed to be on the hormones for 3 years. How it's not just and again, think about it in just using logic. You put it as a rapist, a male in a female penitentiary, under the guise that he just identified. He was not no hormones, he wasn't doing, he just is a full male. Yeah? So I think this deserves a whole next life. Lisa, what is your view? I find it quiet. Lisa.
I agree emotionally, see.
Yeah, but women, in the early stages of these guys coming out of the closet, women was really cheering them on it. And here what I realized though, when they cheer them on, it started to get worse. And now they're saying, we want you back.
But everybody coming out in the open now.
Well, the closet full, because if we realize everybody, like all these the Hollywood stars, a lot of people just coming out of the closet like there was the only time. So you're really getting to see the reality. But we really have to decide how we're gonna deal with women coming up in society, and now you might have to decide, they get effeminate man because all the masculine men gone. What is your view on that before we roll on?
You know what? I think dealing with that topic, there is where women really need men to come out. Dealing with this, because if this continues, the human being will be non-existent, wouldn't it?
Well, if this continues,
it would to make tests now. So
because my partner who buy Twitter the other day, I call it the day before for Facebook or the we partner with us at the electric car. Right now, he is in vitro 10 women. He has 10 babies on the way. So as surrogates, he pay them and the surrogates right now. So it may come a reality now where women might be making some money providing children for these transgender couples. Are we there, you know? It is coming a time, where trans couples who cannot procreate are now using surrogates to acquire children. This is the world.
I know we had a topic about this thingy before, and thinking about it now, I think I've changed my mind on what I first said about that topic. I think if transgender want to come together I think they basically strike themselves out of being a parent.
And remember before, that's what I'm saying, remember your ladies were really cheering them on, or they was in the corner. You know what I mean?
No, I remember what I said. I mean, if that is what they want to do, by all means,
correct. Yeah.
I think by doing that, I think it is forbidden for you to have any children.
But that's in the Western because it's forbidden in this country right now. That is in the West. It's only in the West, Abby. It's only in the West. In the East. You can't do that.
Right?
That is not no.
That's surrogacy and all of that. And you're supposed to have a psychological evaluation.
Listen to me, money answers a lot of things. Hear what is going on in this world. I realize
money talks.
Money. You see money? Money buys a lot in this world. You see this world we live in, maybe the next world, money is playing such a powerful part. You know what I'm saying? Money is a player in this because here's why. Imagine Abby have the right genes, right chromosome, and Abby charging £200,000 per child. Is that people are going to work again or not?
No, I understand.
Think about like Abby
and they live life nice.
Listen. This is what's going on now. I know hypothetically speaking, Elon do that, right? Abby in perfect health. They want Abby to be the surrogate. They're paying Abby £200,000 a child or 3. They're contracting she for 3 years. Half now, half when the child born healthy. Surrogate. You going to work? Yes, going to work.
Yes,
I mean, it sounds nice, but when you look at it, you know how much damage you know,
that's
being
$6
pregnant can do to your own body. So.
People taking it up, right? People is taking up the offer. So,
the offer, I agree.
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah, my question is right. Okay. I don't know if the question will sound weird or offy, but with this surrogate, right? Suppose you have this baby inside and you come and lost this baby, right? You have to think about all that too. Come on, you know, like something come and happen to you, you know, and this baby come and die in your womb. You understand? From that aspect, it's something nice, yes. But remember, these people have a contract. What is body not prepared for this thing.
If you die in the process,
of that, exactly. That's what I'm just going to say. If you die in the process of that, what are you going to do?
On that,
you ain't have no money to spend.
You have money to spend. Money, you dead. Money going funeral.
Right. So that is my, you know, supposing, you know, you
money. That's what I'm saying. Money talks. Money talk. Money is the devil, you know. Money talks.
But you see, that's the thing. Remember, they contracted you. You supposed to reach through your contract to say, in case of so by so, but at the end of the day, if you get hurt or you die and all of that, the best that you could think about is, here what, my family, if it is I have dependents or so, they will live off and
Supposing a woman is like a bad pressure, right?
She have blood problems, low blood problems, blood clot, low blood clot, or something. Come on,
Oliver,
let's see what's gonna happen.
But thing is,
Oh my God.
Oliver, this topic, we will continue this topic next week.
But still,
because
no one has a
realize
man.
this topic real hot. Right? Oliver, we gonna deal with that next week. I know about the ladies night, Oliver got a whole other meeting for the ladies night. Abby give you a guest appearance. I'm glad that Abby came through. And Chika, this topic, we have to continue this topic next week. Because it fall in, all the ladies have a lot in them. But, yeah. Yesterday, all they want back the men now, all they don't want the feminine.
Hey, I said I want a gorilla. I did ask for a gorilla to teach chess. I didn't ask for no.
I second that. I want
feelings. I want feelings. You're monsters though, you see? Ah, boy.
I was a monster. I'm not for
Oh, no,
no.
but I see women matching long time.
So I don't want no coffee, man.
Hey, I want King Kong.
Only next week.
I want King Kong.
Big up YouTube, big up Facebook. It was nice streaming on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Only next week we're going to deal with this. Only, oh God, fine.
Hey, Scott!